morning. Welcome to Morning Moments. Thank you for coming and listening to this interview today. Today, I have all the way from Arkansas a singer, songwriter, and also a fellow nurse. I'm always glad to talk to nurses. Joy Speers, welcome to Morning Moments.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. Well, Joy, you're in Arkansas, so tell me, what do you do and why do you do it?
Well, I'm a mother of three beautiful children. They're grown now, but they're still my babies, and that's what I tell them all the time. And I got six grandchildren, and then my stepson is due with. Just found out we're gonna have another one, so I've been putting up seven. So I'm excited, but I'm a preacher's kid, the youngest of five, and mom and dad always had us up on stage singing or doing something all the time. So that's kind of where all of us got our start. And I started writing back in probably 2008. And my first song I wrote was I'm Here. And I typically write from, I guess, things that's going on with family members, something they're going through. It's like, I don't know, God gives me the words and I write them. Or Dad was preaching one time, he was preaching on sufficient grace. And during his sermon, I wrote, His grace is sufficient. It just, God gives me the words when he gives them to me and I write them down. I'm not, I guess, one of those writers that write a verse here and wait a while and figure out another verse. It just, when it comes to me, it comes to me and I write it down. So that's kind of where my writing is. So more heartfelt, true story. If you listen to the words, you're gonna know there's a story behind it. There's a story behind it. So,
And it's amazing how just one line of a song sometimes can minister to you. Just that one clip, and how you put it down in a song, and it hits somebody years later. Just that one little sentence or one little verse that can really mean so much to us.
right. When I wrote "I'm Here," I wrote it because one of the family members was going through some domestic violence in her life, and she went to court that day actually, and I went up to the church and was praying, and God gave me the words and stuff, and that's when I wrote it. But during the years that I've sang it, other people have gotten different messages out of it. Um, some, I remember one gentleman, he said, I lost my son, a few months ago in a car accident. He said, this song is so much to me. Yeah. And it warmed my heart, because that's what I write for. It's what I think God gives me the words for. Is I want to touch others' hearts, and give them some hope, something to hang on to, something to look to, so they can find God in it, get some strength from it.
And you're still singing with the group today or now?
We sing on occasion now.
Mm-hmm.
We don't sing all the time, just on occasion. So my sister Jenny and Jim Hill, they she's also a singer songwriter, and they sing a lot in Branson. Um, and then Joe does some stuff, and you'll get to meet him. Just since my parents passed 3 years ago, when I was working on hospice in an inpatient unit, and my parents passed, and I haven't really done a whole lot in the last few years, you know. But I'm stepping back out in it. I think that's where God's leading me because some doors have opened up, and I told my husband, I said, Dale, I said, I'm just gonna walk through it, and he said, well, let's go. So we're walking.
There certainly becomes a time, I know in my life it had to be too, where you really need to step back and to have some recovery from those losses. And
Mhm.
it's those seasons are important to not speed through them, but allow God to do some healing. Right?
Right. And I'd always tell my family members, grief doesn't have a time limit.
No.
Grief doesn't have a time limit. You just take it day by day and hour by hour. And some days are good, some days are bad.
Yeah.
And um, but I guess, I went back to work like a week after my dad died, like a week after my mom died. And I was having to deal with more deaths of other patients. And it was tough.
Yeah.
I mean, mentally tough. And I would just tell the other girls, just give me a minute, let me take a breath, and that's it's okay, go, and they'd give me some space, and I'd go cry and move on. But I would share my stories with other family members too, and I've actually wrote. Um, I've got two other songs I'm in the process of recording, so that deals with a lot of that. So I
Yeah.
think a lot of people, I think will like them.
And your journey from early singing, songwriting, and then going to nursing, that nursing has driven a lot of the stories that you write from. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it does. It has.
How has being a nurse affected or helped uh, show you why you do what you do? Is that reflective of why you do what you do?
A lot of it. My dad was a medic in the army, and I think in watching mom and dad being so compassionate and has so much empathy, that was given, taught to me. And so when I went into nursing, it was just very like second nature to me. And so I love what I do. I love, taking care of other people. Um, some of the other nurses would say, that's our singing nurse, and I would sit at the bedside,
Yeah.
and my mom was a whistler, I'm the hummer. And I might sing real softly, I might hum to them, but I I guess I'm sometimes the calming in it, you know. Um, but that's I think what I do. I just
You,
if
you
I
know,
think they need to be sung to, even my psych patients,
yeah.
you know, music is very calming, you know, and if they start acting out, I'll start singing, and they'll just kind of settle down and sing, and that's all I want,
I
you
was
know.
thinking when I was doing home health nursing as a psych nurse myself, there was a patient that she was so severely depressed that she didn't leave her house, and that's why they called me in to be there as a psych nurse for her. And she used to sing in a gospel choir, and I remember bringing a hymnal to her house one day, and we just sung some songs and harmonized, and that just lifted her spirits. And it's amazing what music can do for
Right,
people who are troubled in their mind.
right, and I worked at a forensic psych unit for 7 years, and you can ask any nurse that worked there at the time. You turn on music, you had a good day. You had a good day. You don't have music, you probably better watch out because
Yeah,
it's not going to be a good day. This music is very soothing, to
yeah,
people, and
absolutely.
and you need that, you know.
And you don't have to be in a psych unit or severely depressed or have a psychotic disorder to have the Lord minister to you and lift you up with music. That's what's great about
Mhm.
how God
Yeah.
uses our worship to Him through song.
Mm-mm. I would, I would sit at bedsides of patients and um, I'd say, if they were non-responsive and the families, just going through a hard time, I'd sit there and go, what was their favorite hymn, their favorite song? And they would tell me, and I would sit there and hold their hand and I would sing it to them. And, you know, they would just be so, thankful. And it's like, well, God has put me where He needs me,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm thankful for. And it brings you peace, and it brings them peace. And that's what I want to do.
I,
Yeah, we're just
w-
grateful for it.
when my father went to be with the Lord, all four of us kids were standing there, and Happy Good Ones were playing in the background when he gave his last breath and was graduated to heaven. So music is a way to really
Yeah,
to help comfort everyone.
right. When my dad passed, us kids were, and my daughter was there, and we were singing around his bedside.
Yeah,
And that's the way he would have wanted to go,
yeah,
you know.
absolutely. Yep. Well, we have a lot in common, Joy, because we're nurses and also preachers' kids, I've really enjoyed having this conversation with you. I'm going to put down below some information that you could follow, Joy. Maybe you are a group and you want to talk to her about some of her songs that you want to sing and her sing, and about her songwriting. Maybe there's other connections you want to make with her in the music field. Um, but we're going to put that information down below so you could be in contact with her,
Yeah.
and so that maybe you say, let's get together, collaborate. Is there? I also uh, want to encourage you when you hear Joy's name, when you see her, either the websites or the information that we're going to put down before, follow up, see what she's done. But more important than that, be praying for her, that God would continue to bless her and be with her in her nursing career as also in her singing as well and songwriting, that God would just continue to bless her uh, as as she continues to serve God in every capacity that she does. Any closing thoughts that you have, Joy, before we end?
We just need to keep uplifting everybody and pray, and seek for the way He wants us to go.
Amen.
Just keep reaching. We're
Amen.
all going to get there.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today, Joy, and thank you for listening today. Please pass this interview on to others that may need it, and keep coming back if you would for some more morning moments. And may God richly bless you.